Understand, some people belong in prison. Everybody in prison is not a good person. It's definitely a true story when they say be careful. Idols sometimes turn into your rival. And when it comes to that money, some people will do anything, including kill. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Oftentimes, man, you in prison and you meet people, and it's like some really good people in prison. See, everybody thinks that everybody walking around prison is just the scum of the earth. And that's just simply not the case. You got guys that's in prison that, for one, shouldn't be in prison. For two, you got guys that's in prison that perhaps they were on drugs or under the influence out on the street when they committed their crime, but now that they're sober and actually speak with a clear mind, you realize, man, these dudes are actually all right. But on the flip side, you got some dudes, not to pass judgment on anybody, but you got some dudes that definitely deserve and need to be in prison. I'm going to bring you a story this afternoon of Zoe and Five. That's the actual name, Zoe and Five. They knew of each other out on the streets, but they didn't really, hang around each other that much. So, they find themselves in prison or what have you. And oftentimes when you're in prison, you find somebody that likes to do the exact same things that you like to do. It's called programming, or some people call it rec. Some people, they like to play poker, like to gamble on the parlay tickets on, any sporting event, basketball, football. That guys like to play pool, ping pong, just whatever, play chess, play spades, dominoes. So these two really would, they were actually kicking it, if you will. They was kicking it every day. When you seen one, you seen the other one. They worked out together. They ended up being in the same cell together. Actually, it wasn't a cell. It was an open dorm. But they were in the same cube together. You got 4-man cubes. Actually, you got 2-man cubes at this particular prison that we were at. You got 2-man cubes. So you got a bed on the left side, a bed on the right side. It's a big long table up against the wall, and you can put your TV. So like both of them had TVs. Zoe had his TV on one side, and Five had his TV on the other side. Then, each person has a locker, and that's basically, how a cube looks, a prison cube looks. So they was cool. Like I said, they were, essentially cellies, but since it wasn't a cell, we'll just say, they were in the same cube. So, you seen one, you seen the other. They ate together. Both of them had money coming in. So in prison, you don't really have to go to the chow hall if you have a steady flow of money coming in. So you got $100 a week being sent to you, and especially back then, this was a while ago, this was years ago. So you get $100 a week, being sent to you. You never have to go to the chow hall. You eat straight out of your locker. So you see the guys, they're making a spread together. That's what you call it in prison. And like I said, they working out together. When they played dominoes, they was partners. When they played spades, they was partners. They would hoop. Everything was cool. So it seems. Zoe ended up, after, I want to say about 3 years, Zoe ended up being released. Now, let's paint a picture so that you will better understand the situation with Zoe prior to prison. Zoe was the man out on the streets. He was in the drug game. He was considered the plug. Now, it wasn't as though he was really, really large in the game, but he had a decent name, and he was moving a decent amount of weight. That's just what it was. He ended up getting caught up. Thankfully for him, the feds didn't end up picking up the case. So I think he ended up getting like 10, 12 years in the state. He had a lot of money. I mean, this guy would go to the commissary, and from time to time, he would just buy $100 meals, $60, $70 meals. He'd have somebody cook it, whip it up, and he'd just lay it out for people that didn't really have anything. You see what I'm saying? Some people are in prison, they don't get anything. So they have to rely on what they're able to hustle up on and the chow hall. Zoe was very, very He was very, very giving. And like I said, oftentimes I've seen him do it. Just make a big old spread. Man, y'all go get y'all something to eat, man. See what I'm saying? Fried banquet chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, cheesecake, macaroni, the Shell's macaroni and cheese, whatever you could possibly think of, he set it out. He did very well with his money. He didn't blow all of his money out on the streets. You know, when the time came, he was able to get an excellent attorney. And that's really the reason that he only got like 10 to 12 years, because basically what they caught him with, the feds could have picked it up. And even if the feds didn't pick it up, you know, he was facing some real time. His family was able to maintain. They pretty much lived the same lifestyle. He was a few 100,000 strong. He had put up. So he goes to prison. Like I said, him and Five run across each other. They had seen each other on the streets, knew of each other, but they didn't really know each other like that. They became real close in prison. So after 2.5, 3 years, Zoe ends up getting out. When Zoe gets out, what does he do? He goes back to doing the exact same thing that got him in prison. That happens so often. You know, oftentimes, man, guys get out and they run right back to it. And I can't down anybody for it. You shouldn't do it, but I can't criticize anybody for it, because guess what? I did it. Went right back. I didn't go right back as soon as I got out, but it was some years later and the struggle hits. See, when you're in prison, you got all these plans. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but you don't plan for the things that are going to come up, the unforeseen things that's going to come up. And it's like, whoa, I didn't think about this. Then you seeing everybody else, they have this, they have that, they got nice clothes, nice shoes, and you didn't have any money saved or anything like that before you went in. So when you get out, it's like you on ground zero. So you seeing everybody else flourishing and shining, and you want that same shine. Nevertheless, let's get back to the story. So he gets out. About 1.5 years later, Five ends up getting out. The two of them maintain contact. You know, Five would call Zoe every once in a while. Zoe would slide some money on his books, video call him or whatever. So, you know, they maintain their friendship. When Five gets out, he jumps right back in the game the same way Zoe did. Now, you imagine Zoe's been out for about 1.5 years at this point, so he's up. He was already up before he went in. So for 1.5 years, basically day one, he jumped right into the game. So for 1.5 years, he's been getting his money, stacking his money or whatever, and he's thinking about his partner, Five. Man, when my partner come out, man, I got you, man. Don't worry about nothing. When you come home, I got you. Five gets out. Guess what? Zoe blesses him. Gives him a few thousand to put in his pocket. Takes him shopping. Gives him a bag. Gives him a bag and a phone. Basically what that means is, for you all that don't know, I'm going to give you this phone. You already got clientele. You see what I'm saying? Because you still got to build your clientele up. You know, when you first get out, he's been locked up 5-6 years. So by the time he get out, he's not really dealing with anybody on that level. So he got a phone. He got about 5, 6, 7 people that's constantly calling that phone. Got money in his pocket. He got clothes. He done took him shopping. And he gave him some work. You don't owe me nothing back. You don't owe me nothing. Just come back and see me once you get your money up or whatever. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. It's not a beautiful thing because it's illegal. But if you're in that realm of businesses, to say the least, it's a beautiful thing. Most of the time, like I said, when you come home from prison, man, you don't have nothing. Ain't nobody giving you nothing. Ain't nobody blessing you. Nothing. You'll come home to absolutely nothing if you didn't have anything prior to going in, or you lost everything while you were in. People rob, steal, police find your stuff, take your money. I had $6,800 on me last time I was arrested, which was years and years ago. And you think I got that $6,800 back? Guess again. But nevertheless, Five's out. He's shining. You know, he's getting his clientele up. He's getting his money up. So every time it was time for him to re-up, which Urban Dictionary means that when he ran out of product, he had to go back, purchase more product. He would go to Zoe every single time. So he's climbing. He's getting more and more each time. Okay, I'm going to get this amount. Another time. Next time I'm going up. I'm going to do it a couple times, and I'm going up. So every time he went to go see Zoe, every couple times he went to go see Zoe, guess what? his purchases were getting larger and larger. At this point, they had already really established a foundation, a nice relationship. See, oftentimes in prison, when you meet somebody, it's like they may be cool in prison, but that don't mean that they're the same person out on the streets. And with money and street fame, guess what comes with that? Envy. So the whole time, Zoe's thinking, man, this is my mans, we cool, whatever. They still hanging. They still, they go out from time to time. But, you live in life, so you're not able to hang the same way that you're able to hang in the penitentiary. But they will still go out, have drinks, go to the club from time to time, do their thing or whatever, kick it, talk on the phone. So, as I mentioned, this goes on for about a year. Five is stacking his money up. He's stacking his money, and as I mentioned, he's getting more and more each time. This one particular time, he hit Zoe up. He's like, hey, man, I need 2 of them things. 2 of them things, yeah. If you don't know what 2 of them things mean, I need 2 birds, man. I'm ready for 2 birds. 2 birds. Zoe's thinking about it like, man, you sure you sure you ready for this or whatever? Yeah, man, get them ready for me, man. I gotta play. I gotta, what I'm saying? I already pretty much got to move or whatever. So I need to get that from you. Zoe's like, all right. What I'm saying? I've been dealing with dude. We was locked up together. We was solid. We done fought together. He didn't have my back. I done had his back. The entire year that he's been out, he done kept it real with me. He keeps coming back to me. I'm feeding him. So Zoe really never had too much of a reason to suspect anything was going wrong. To suspect anything foul could potentially be in the air. He calls him. Zoe calls Five. He tells him, look, man, come through tonight. I don't know the exact time, but let's just say come through tonight at about 9:30, man. I'm going to have that for you, man. I'm going to have it. Plus, I'm going to bless you on the price, man. I ain't even going to hit you over the head, like as I would charge anybody else. I'm going to bless you with the price. Five's like, my man. 9:30, 10 o'clock comes. He comes to the house. When he comes to the house, Zoe answers the door. They downstairs in the basement or whatever. Five walks in. It was 3 other people that was there that he didn't know was going to be there, because typically when he went over there, no one was ever there. It's 3 other people that's there when he goes in. He's looking around like, dang, bro. But he can't say anything because that's Zoe's house. But he's just kind of thrown off. They sit around, they have a drink, The 3 dudes that were there, they were from out of town. They had stopped in or whatever. They were visiting, so they had stopped by Zoe's house. They was just in the basement watching the game, kicking it, taking shots or whatever. Just, having a good time, catching up on time. And Five goes to make his move. When he goes to make his move, he tells dude, hey, get that out, man. Dude hands it to him or whatever. When he goes to get the money, when he goes to collect the money from Five, get that out, man. What you talking about, bro? Get that out. Get that out, man. You know what it is. You know what it is. What, you robbing me, man? You gonna rob me? Man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Get that out. Bro, all this time we done all the times we done kicked it, and you gonna rob me in my own crib? Get it out. I'm gonna tell you one more time. Get it out. Zoe ain't going. Zoe's like, man, nah, I ain't getting nothing out. But he already has it out. You see what I'm saying? But he's not trying to hand it over, so they tussling over the bag or whatever. Next thing you know, bow! Bow! Five, he shoots Zoe twice. Shoots him. Right there in the house, in the basement. He don't know if anybody's upstairs. He knows those 3 individuals are sitting in the other room. But besides them, he don't know if anybody else is in the house. They done seen his face. They don't know who he is. They're from out of town. But they've seen his face. He done sit there and drank with him, kicked it with him for a little bit. He grabs the bag. He goes into the other room where the 3 dudes was at. They done jumped up. They trying to figure out, what's going on. He tells them all, sit down, man. Sits them down, tells them sit down, executes all 3 of them. Boom, boom, boom. All 3 of them. In his mind, he couldn't leave any witnesses. As I mentioned, they've seen his face. So if I take the chance of leaving out of here, obviously you're going to have to call the police. Police come, what did he look like? You give a description of me, they get to doing the research, the checking the phones, checking everything. Boom, it comes back to me. So what do? Speaking as though I'm 5, I'll go ahead and eliminate everything. No witnesses. Kills all 3 of them, man. 4, including Zoe, leaves out of the house and goes about his merry way. Think about it. This was a plot and a plan the entire time. They were from different neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? So 5 knew that Zoe was kind of powerful out on the streets. So he felt as though, okay, I'm going to befriend him. I'm going to get close to him. And ultimately, I'm going to rob him. I want to be the man. That's how he felt. I want to be the man. I got to keep coming to you, copping from you, buying from you. Nah, man, I'm ready to surpass you. I'm ready to be that man. He just didn't understand and realize that when he went to his house, he didn't understand that it was going to go down like that. Don't think he really had intentions on hurting anybody. I think it was just more so, man, I'm going to get these 2 things from him and shoot, it's up. Whatever happens after that, happens. Dude's tussling for his. He wasn't trying to give it up. Boom. Boom. The entire time he had that plan. All the times they were making spreads, eating in prison, playing basketball, playing dominoes, man. Zoe was good to 5. As I mentioned, even when Zoe got out, he was sending 5 money, answering his phone calls, making sure that his girl, his kids and everything was okay. He never crossed that line. He never violated. He never got disrespectful. And the whole time, 5 was plotting to rob Zoe the entire time. It wasn't even 2 days later, man. It wasn't 2 days later. It was all over the news. It was everywhere. Everybody knew about it. Apparently, there was a witness that allegedly seen 5 running out of the house. They told the police. They came back, arrested 5. He goes to jail. Obviously, his bond is sky high. He don't have a bond. He don't have a bond. You got 4 murder charges. He goes to trial, gets convicted. I believe he ended up only getting convicted of 2 of the 4. I'm not sure exactly how that works. You see what I'm saying? But he got convicted of 2 of the 4 murders. Life without parole. Life without parole, man. 2 days later, was caught by the police. That's a daggone shame, man. You got somebody that's actually looking out for you and helping you, and the whole time you thinking, man, this is my partner, this is my ace, this is my dog, this is my friend, he's plotting against you the entire time. So you never really know the individual that you're meeting. And I don't want to say just in prison. You never really know a person's strategy, they frame of mind outside of prison. People are in prison for a reason. So while there are, as I mentioned earlier, some good dudes in prison or whatever, a lot of people in prison, they're there for a reason. You know, they're not just coming knocking on your door. Hey, drew your name out of a hat, time to go to prison today. Nah, it doesn't work like that. A lot of people are in prison because they did something, in some cases, so heinous that guess what? They're right where they need to be. It's a shame those 3 individuals came down there thinking that they were just, going to spend the weekend or what have you, and never made it home. It was so sad. They had the little girl. It was a little girl, and she was the daughter of one of the victims, and she was like, why did you all do this to my daddy? I just don't understand it. He didn't bother anybody. Why did you all do this to my daddy? At the time, she was maybe 9, 10 years old, and she was crying on the news, and it was just so sad. But see, when you put your life, when you live that life, that lifestyle, something like that subject to happen. The streets have no rules. There's no rules to the streets other than you don't tell. And they telling now like crazy. That doesn't really apply to most individuals, because at this point there's no loyalty. It's just about, man, I'm not trying to do all this time on my own. What do I got to do to avoid jail? Or if I can't avoid jail, what do I got to do to get the least amount of time? And that's the mentality of a lot of these street dudes now. Not all. You got some solid stand-up dudes, but a lot of people are just telling. My attorney told me that 90% of the cases are solved because people tell. There's no need to go to trial. People not taking cases to trial because they got 2 or 3 people that's pointing the finger at them. So why go to trial with it? You living that life? Think about this story, man. The same person that you kicking it with, the same person you going to the strip club with, to the club with, y'all shootouts, whatever the street life entails of. Understand that this may be the same individual that's plotting to have you taken under, plotting to kill you, plotting to get you arrested, get you out of the way so he can take your spot. Smiling in your face, all the while, wants to take your place. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the Chizound if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification so anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Real Kens TV, man. Stay out them streets, kids.